Hey folks, Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, ancestrylands.com. I'm going to talk to you guys about a little bit of things. I swear, every time in my life, when I get one thing that's a problem that goes away, another problem comes up. If it's not one area, then another area. It seems like you're always putting out fires. Is that you? Do you know what I mean? If I don't have a problem if I don't have a problem with my wife, I got a problem with my kids. If I don't have a problem with my wife and my kids, then I got a problem with my business. If I don't have a problem with my wife, my kids, or my business, then it's my 9-to-5 job that I have a problem with. Life always brings you problems. That's the title of this video. I just found it. Life will always bring you problems. And again, you're just spinning plates, man. And the one thing I've learned at 43 that I'm going to tell all my listeners, and I hope the young people are really taking note to this, is that doesn't matter how well you have it, life will still bring you problems. It doesn't matter how rich you are. Cancer doesn't care about if you're rich or not. There are rich people who have gotten the most devastating news of their day. No more different than a poor person who got the same news. The only difference between that rich person and that poor person that you will not define or quantify is that one has more resources to be able to deal with the problem than the other person, but the trauma is still the same. I've never heard a rich person get a diagnosis of cancer or feel sick and say, oh, well, I'm just glad I have money. They still get sick like you do. They still hurt like you do. They still have inefficiencies just like you do. They are no different. The only thing they have is money to be able to mitigate and or solve that problem. But sometimes some problems can't be solved. Some stress cannot be solved. The feeling of failure is internal. The feeling of frustration, the feeling that, hey, I got to make sure I keep my business alive. The feeling that I have the pressure of people who are depending on me. Because a lot of times we see that businesses go down, CEOs get nervous. We've seen that with CrowdStrike. The CEO happened to get on national television and realize why his company is not doing well and why everything's going awry. No more than you walking through the door after a long day of work and hearing that the shit hits the fan and everybody, your kids cut school or your kids had a problem in school and you had a hellish day at work. A shitty day is a shitty day. And it happens to all of us. So we're not alone. I'm going through it right now at my actual 9-to-5 job. People got attitudes. They don't want to talk to me because I don't do the things that they like, or they don't necessarily like my personality. I'm a quiet person. I do like to talk and interact, but I'm not always at what I call the watering hole for the cackling. Everybody who likes to sit there and waste time. I like to be productive at my job. And it's hard to work in a group when you're being asked to lead people and the people will not follow. Is that because I'm a poor leader? No. Some people cannot be led, and I've learned that. I used to think that any person could be put under proper leadership and they would follow if it led them to a successful outcome that they want. But some people are happy just being mercenaries or just being in the spot and wasting time. Some people are just happy for the paycheck. Some people don't want change. Some people are just happy with the status quo. They're not looking for a future. Their future is, I'm going to stay stagnant as I can. And I used to think differently with people. That people want it better for themselves, always, intrinsically. I mean, what animal, what being would willingly contribute to their own unhappiness? And I realized I was wrong. I had conversations with close friends and confidants about the situations that I go through because they've been in the world of the 9-to-5. I'm not used to it. I've been years for now outside of that world, but I can't flip into, well, I'm a boss, I own my own company, and now when I get here, I'm going to bring that attitude to this environment. It does not work. You cannot do that. You have to stay in your lane. I have to be a worker here because the mission here is to make sure I keep the benefits. The business building is get to the point where I never need to go back to the job, because I went out in the world and I saw the economy doing well to doing bad. I was doing well, the economy went bad, and then all of a sudden now healthcare benefits keep going up and costing so much for a family of 5. Now, if I was on my own or it was just my wife and I wouldn't have to worry about going back because it would be cheaper for healthcare costs for us. But I have 3 children, one which was born while I was out of work. And also, don't forget, I got injured. So my healthcare costs shot up. And that's something people don't account for. Everybody makes plans when you're healthy. No one makes plans for when you're sick. And that's where you get caught up at. Not that I failed. I just didn't have enough bandwidth in my business, not enough capital to be able to support myself when I was not healthy. So I had to make a lateral move. I had to go and work and do this 9 to 5 to be able to cover that part. Now, what ended up happening is it's not a failure. I end up getting more capital, more money, because I'm not spending my money on the same things I had expenses for. I am trading my time for dollars, but right now I got to make sure that I can cover my costs or I won't have any money at the end. But the 9 to 5 requires you to go back out and work with people who have a different mindset than you do, and I struggle with that. The leadership likes it because I'm super productive, I'm well motivated, well driven, but I understand that I'm in a system meant to keep us as cattle on the farm. And my eyes are wide open that they use clinical ladders or advancement opportunities as a way to get you to spend more time trying to achieve these measures. And at the same time, it's not like once you get them, they're ready to promote you, because now you got to deal with the politics of job availability. So it's just one big system meant to stagnate you and to get you working in the job longer while you're trying to achieve or go forward, which is why I do tell people you need to have a business on the side. Because what ends up happening is that when normal people who do not have a business, that aspirational energy, that energy to want to achieve, that gets stamped out, and you become a person that resents jobs, that resents work. It's like Mr. Incredible in the movie The Incredibles. You know, when he was a superhero and he was doing his own thing, that was like his own business. He was super, you might even say, a little ego-driven. He might be a little conceited, but he was his happiest, his fittest. He was the healthiest he was at that point. Then he goes into the world, he goes into hiding, and then he's in a 9 to 5 job, and you can see how miserable he is. He's overweight, he looks worn out, tired. He's just not into it. He's living as a CPU, a computer. He's going through the motions. He's a computer program. He's just another person in a cubicle going through his job, and he's not able to create change or affect change in this local environment, let alone the greater universe for himself. And that's how a lot of people feel. Fortunately for me, I've got this YouTube channel, I got my subscribers, I got a lot of other stuff going for myself, but this does take a little bit of the sale, and I always have to cleanse the energy out. But again, for those people there that are going through this, you gotta look for a business. You gotta build a hobby or a business, something that you can be invested in, because a 9 to 5 job will suck that energy, that life force out of you. Yeah, you'll be motivated when you first get that degree. You'll be motivated when you first get into the job because it's new for you. And then after a while, you got to deal with people. You got to deal with me, like patients. You got to deal with problems. You got to deal with administration. And now all of a sudden, it becomes a job again. Now it becomes no different than when your first job, when you got, you worked in high school, or many of the other jobs that you've left to now get to this new job. It fits the same modality. Yeah, it might be more pay, but you're still stressed the same way you were when you made less money. And that's because, again, it does not allow for your individuality to be, one, monetized in a form that you get paid for your effort, for your merit. You don't get paid for what you're worth. You get paid at a market price. And again, you're getting paid, you could be filet mignon, but when you're in a group of filet mignon in one area, then it's all filet mignon. It's not filet mignon versus porterhouse, filet mignon versus butcher special. You don't get paid that way. And that's what hurts you as an individual, where companies do not value your individual effort. Now, I'm not talking about for the people who work in my business, because they get paid for what they do per day. They get paid for what they've done previous days, and they get paid commissions, and they get paid on top of that if they've even tried to sell one property. The property hasn't sold. So I pay my people 4 ways. And if they were super hustlers, they wanted to go get an achievement, they know what they have to do to get paid the 5th way. So I incentivize performance. Now, people don't have to perform, and that's fine. But when they do perform, they get motivated to get paid right away, same day. You don't have to get paid every 2 weeks with me. And I did that because the way my business needed to be is that even if you did nothing, you would still get something. But if you were really motivated, there's a pathway for you to make a lot more money. And when you're engaged in the business, you get rewarded in the business. But that's not what a lot of people do. Like, for instance, with most 9-to-5 jobs, if you show up to work every day, they don't give you anything for that. You don't get extra pay. You don't get a bonus for showing up every day. You don't get a bonus for being the person who called out the least. But again, when people and the person who takes just enough days off to not get written up, there's no difference in the way you all get paid by your company. Your value, when all the upper wigs go and talk to you about, thank you for your support and service, happy Nurses Week, it's no different than the nurse that barely is here because they're calling out all the time. Or the nurse that doesn't do their weight of their performance of their job. I was talking to my good friend Anthony Russo about this. You might have seen him in my videos in Portland, Maine, and Yarmouth, Maine, the dentist. I did a video he's got a new channel on Instagram, Make Me Smiles Yarmouth. Follow him on IG. He's one of my followers. Anthony, man, love you and the family, brother. And he was telling me, he said, Phil, when I was talking about some of these issues, he said, Phil, there are people who pull the weight for everyone. You know, those are the people who literally carry the weight of the company. Other people there, they're just fillers. It's like a house with cement bricks. The cement is really what makes your house not, break down, but it's the mortar. People are just fillers. And they're there. The little spaces are what you need most of the time, but that's what supports the brick. And the bricks are always looking at the mortar saying, well, how come y'all ain't doing all the work of us bricks? And the mortar's a little bit in between to make sure the bricks can hold all that weight. They're pulling all the weight. And it's unfortunate, but that's how companies work. But they pay the brick and mortar the same, which is why a house is sold. The house is valued for the nuts, the bolts, the screw, the foundation, the plumbing. Even though you would say the bricks might be the thing that keeps the house together, they don't adjust the price based on what type of nails you use. You just have nails and that's it. So again, your individuality is not special in a place like most companies. They pay you a market price, not your merit price. And unfortunately, that's the place where dreams go to die, where ambition goes to be, laid to rest. That's a place where the value of you is always expressed the same across the board, no matter where the companies are. I never have to tell my people how valuable they are because they're with me, because the paychecks keep coming. When you perform, you get paid. And sometimes people need an advance. I give them that too. They're responsible for their own taxes. But again, I can't reach the CEO of my company. He's unreachable. People can call me. But again, that's what I said. You can't not everyone can be a full-on solo entrepreneur or have a B company or be someone like John Hope Bryant. A lot of people can't be Robert Kiyosaki's or what's his name, Jeff Bezos or Grant Cardone. Some people just have small mom and pop companies, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're going to be those people, you got to use the 9-to-5 for a different method or modality to serve your needs. And you can't get sucked up in the drama. You got to keep your peace inside. And when you get outside of the world, like I'm doing with these videos, you got to leave it all at the place that misery goes and loves to dwell. And that's what it looks to do. Don't let him do it to you. Keep a business, keep something you're striving for. And I'm striving to keep on bringing you content to make sure that you don't have your dreams stamped out. Your entrepreneurship, your entrepreneurial spirit is not laid to rest. That you don't go to a 9-to-5 and feel like I can't do it. Look at me. Look at my children. Look at my family. Look at all the videos I'm putting out. They're not just for you to sit there and watch. They're for you to watch, learn, follow, use it as a blueprint, use it as a teaching moment, use it as a template, and say, hey, if he's doing it, he's showing me he's walking it and not just talking it, then I can do exactly this, and I'm probably going to get similar results. Success leaves clues. Well, I ain't leaving clues. I'm leaving the blueprint for you. And all you got to do is follow. Follow this channel, follow, like, share, subscribe, follow, show other people. Get my book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing. The link is in the descriptions below. And I guarantee you, if you follow some of the things I'm telling you, you follow 1/10 of what I'm telling you, your life will change. Yes, I've seen the way my wife responds to me. I've seen the way my children respond to me. And your life will change. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the people, the 92,000 people that have helped me get this far. I would be nothing without you all. Well, I'd be something without you all, but not 92,000 strong. I wouldn't be the YouTuber I was if I was not motivated by you watching and liking and sharing and subscribing to this channel. Even to the people who don't subscribe, I thank you too. If you're a new viewer, if you're new to my channel, believe me, this is the place where you go to see somebody who never ever, faked it till he made it. I'm about as real as it comes. And anyone who knows me in my personal life will tell you I've been like that since I was a child. I've never had the talks out the side of my mouth. It's always believe what you see with Phil is what you get. And I'm here for the common man. The common man and, well, common man, woman, common families, because I'm you. I'm one of you. And I'm not going to give up on you. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands. That's it, folks. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.
Have you ever wondered how some individuals amass wealth through vacant land investments? Here's your answer. We introduce the perfect solution, Getting Dollars from Dirt, a beginner's guide to vacant land investments, written by author Philip Davis Jr. and also owner of Ancestry Lands. Uncover tried-and-true strategies and expert advice to navigate vacant land investments, even as a novice. This book simplifies the process, offering practical steps toward financial independence. Learn to spot lucrative opportunities and boost your returns. Getting Dollars from Dirt equips you with the confidence and knowledge for wise investment decisions. Seize this incredible opportunity. Get your copy now and embark on your journey to wealth. Click the link below to order. Start building your fortune today.